and that is Nick Bittinger. Nick, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Oh, we're getting by slowly but surely. Hopefully everything works out for the good. This is our first test call. So, Nick, last year you had such a great season, 12 wins at a place like Lakeside Speedway. That's phenomenal for anybody. How did that make you feel getting that, recognition as well as having such a great season?
Made everything a lot better from the year before. We had some complications the year before, and lost the championship due to losing a weight, which definitely was the right call. Now we came back this year, and that we felt we had a point to prove, so we went out and we had to do that. In our mind, that's what we thought we had to do, so we went out and did it.
Well, and you had a focus, and it seemed like losing that weight from the year before in 2007, it kind of put a damper on the end of your season there, but it gave you so much drive and determination last year. It like your team was just unstoppable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'll do that to you. Defeat always makes you better if it doesn't tear you all the way down.
Well, and they talk about the Grand National class. It's one of those classes to where there's not everybody thinks there's not a ton of cars, but every time I was out there, I saw 20 or plus cars. I mean, there might have been some times when you had to avoid some accidents that took you below 20 in car count, but it was a very tough competitive class. Do you think that class has made you better as a driver?
Yeah, definitely. I enjoy the class. Like you were saying, there's always a good amount of cars. There's always at least 24, 25 cars. So I mean, you're basically at a full field anyway. There were a few accidents. There were a lot of new drivers in the class last year. I think a lot of that'll go away this year. I really think it bettered me as a driver. I think we were in it for 4 years. Starting out, we raced against Gene Claxton. Chad Lyle was in a Grand National. I mean, it's a lot of learning experience that without that class I wouldn't have got.
Now, in 2009, you're going to be stepping up to the plate, going to go with the modifieds now full time. You dabbled in it a little bit last year. Talk to us about the situation that you're getting into in that modified division.
We got to thank Randy Moore with J-Bro Motorsports. Next year I'm going to drive a car for him. We're going to race at Lakeside on Friday, Heartland Park on Saturday. Just looking to go out and have some fun. Last year, at the end of the year, had fun at the Jayhawk, made the show. Just looking to have a little bit of success, but mainly just get some seat time and get used to the car, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll be running up front.
Well, and definitely, you look at the way that you've progressed through your career from the factory stocks to Grand Nationals, now going to get into the modifieds. Is there any one thing that you think you need to pay attention to more than say in the others? In some of the other classes, say the Grand Nationals or factory stocks, maybe you could have relied on driver talent. Is there something more than just your talent behind the wheel now that you're going to have to look at getting into the modifieds?
In every class, it's all a combination of the team, the car, the equipment. Everything's got to be good, especially at Lakeside. Lakeside's a top-notch facility. Mark Olson, everybody does a really good job on the track, keeping everything prepped up. All the cars are teched good. Basically, it's a combination of all. In the modified, I don't think it's any different. Got to have really good equipment. Randy's got really good equipment to put underneath us. Hopefully, me and Dad and Chad Heston and Larry Kopp and our crew and everybody can keep that going.
Now, what kind of a chassis are you going to be driving in 2009?
Well, it's a little bit of a conglomeration of everything. It was a DW11 that we ran last year at the Jayhawk. We took it down to John Allen, had him put a rear clip on it, so it's got his rear suspension under it, and then kind of did some copying off of a Shaw front end on it, so it's got a little bit of everything.
So more of a hybrid, so it could be Frankenstein that we could be looking at out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we talked a little bit about you actually dabbling in it a little bit last year. I know I saw you at Heartland Park, Thunder Hill, at Lakeside. You had a really strong run at Lakeside Speedway in the modified and made the field for the Jayhawk Modified Classic. That had to have been a pretty big boost to your ego when it comes to getting behind the wheel of one of those things.
Yeah, we'd actually, the first time I drove a car for Andy, we went up Thunder Hill. Made the show there, and we were actually coming up through him. I think we were running fourth, getting ready to pass the guy for third, running really strong early in the race, and ended up breaking a motor. So that really helped out a lot. We went to Heartland and kind of fought the car all night. That one didn't really help us out any, but yeah, we went to Lakeside and were able to win the heat race, run good in the qualifying in the Jayhawk. that helped us out a bunch. Me and the crew and everybody, we kind of felt like we were underhanded, not getting very many laps in the car, and that really boosted all of our egos and got us going, ready for the next day.
Now, Nick, talking about teaming up with J Bro Motorsports, how did that all come about? How did you end up landing a seat in that team?
We actually, Randy just came down. We didn't know him from anybody, and he came down into our trailer. Would have been 3 or 4 weeks before the Jayhawk, and just asked us if we wanted to drive a car for him.
Well, and so then now you become a teammate with Danny Charles. Have you talked to him a lot? I mean, is it kind of like a NASCAR team? Do you get to share some information between you, or are you guys good buddies?
We've talked to him a few times. We don't. He lives in Bonner. We're in Perry, so we're a little ways away from each other. But yeah, we talk on the phone, and we've been up to the shop a few times. We share as much information as we can, but it isn't like we're working out of the same shop. It'd be a little bit easier to share information than if we were working out of the same shop.
Yeah, and definitely so. And now with the times that we've got here in the United States, the economy, the way things are going, how much of a relief is it for you to be able to land a ride with somebody else other than saying footing the bill 110% yourself?
Um, it's everything. We wouldn't be able to run a modified if it wasn't for somebody like Randy. You'd see us next year back in the Grand National doing the same thing. So I mean, it's really everything. And Randy's got good equipment, good motors. Basically, that means everything. I'm sure that's the same way for a lot of guys out there.
Yeah, and it definitely is. And if you think about the cost of the modifieds and where that's taken off to these days, that cost can be just enormous.
Definitely, and especially at Lakeside, when you start trying to compete at Lakeside and everything, it definitely gets more expensive than some of the smaller tracks around.
Now, I know, Nick, over the years we've seen you at Thunder Hill. We've seen you a lot at Lakeside Speedway. You did come out to Heartland Park last year, dabble around a little bit there too. Are you looking forward to getting a diversity of different types of tracks to run on?
Yeah, absolutely. When we ran in the Grand National, that was something I'd always talked to Dad about and want to go do, is race other tracks, and we didn't really have that option. 2 years ago, we had US 36. We could go up there and ran, and we did. We went up there. This next year, I haven't really had a whole lot of laps at Heartland Park. Even when they had Grand Nationals there before, we only ran it a couple of times. So I'm really looking forward to being able to travel basically anywhere we want to go. So definitely, I think that'll be a big learning experience, but I think in the long run, it's going to help a lot.
And you hit the nail right on the head right there. You can travel just about anywhere you want to go because when you get a modified, it's pretty much the same as every other track that you want to go to, and that's the nice thing. Are there any other events or races that you're looking at right now that you're saying, hey, I might want to take a chance at that event?
I think we're actually going to start off. We're going to go to LA Speedway in Missouri on the 27th with the USMTS. I think we're going to go down there and start there, and then the following night, Thunder Hill, the 28th. I think we're going to try to make both of those shows, and depending on how we do there, if we end up running good there and feeling our luck's running pretty good, I think we're going to head down to West Island Springs in Oklahoma.
It looks like that you got a full slate planned anyway. Now, you talked a little bit about your crew. You talked about your dad and some of the others. Now, what's the plans for your old Grand National?
Actually, Jeff Herber's out of Holton. He's going to drive it for us next year. He ran it in the race the first night of the Jayhawk. I didn't feel like I wanted to pull double duty, and basically the same with next year. I want to focus on the modified, try to do as well as we can in that. I don't want to split my time. So Jeff's going to drive it for us at Lakeside, and hopefully he'll have some success in it.
Well, I definitely think you will. One of the things that I think about, though, is will you be able to go out there? I mean, are they going to give it a different look? Are they going to keep it the same as last year? Because I think when you get out there, you're going to probably think, hey, maybe I could get back in there and do this, too, at the same time.
Yeah, he's gonna put his lettering on it and everything. It's still black and orange like it was last year. We got the body all done on it and everything. He's just gonna put his stickers on it. So it'll be a 12P card next year. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure halfway through the year I'll always think about it, but I know I want to keep all my time invested in the modified and hopefully make that a go.
Well, it definitely sounds like you have all your ducks in a row for the 2009 season.